Hello world, welcome back to the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. We're sitting here on the couch once again. I'm the man, the Dude 250. They call me Nicky D. We're hanging out with Taylor. My phone's making noises. His name's Taylor Sager. Known online as Aliens Exist. How you doing, homie?
Good.
Lovely. And joined again with my best friend in the whole wide world. His name's Danny Peel.
Oh, wow.
And they know him online as Brutal Nature. What's going on, homie?
Hey, guys. I'm just chilling, as usual. I've been chilling the last couple of times. I'm still chilling right now. Yeah. Glad to be here with you guys.
Awesome.
He's always chilling. That guy must not have a heating system in his house.
It's really cold, actually. Yeah, it is. Lap it up. It is fucking cold.
That's fair, that's fair. It's a bit chilly in his willy.
You're going to talk about cold. We live in Canada. Come on.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah, UK gets pretty wet and cold.
Whatever
It's the
you're
most
used
southern
to.
point in Canada. You could be.
Yeah. Well, we got a topic for you today from me, all about a video game.
No.
Yeah, no, it's about a game.
We don't do that here.
We do games. We do games all the time. The game I'm talking about, EA UFC 2.
Yeah.
The new love of my life.
I heard
big
that
guy.
got a pretty bad review score.
It's a horrible game according to some people.
Check out
But
the
if
last.
you're me, it's an amazing game. And I am enjoying it very, very much. Coming from somebody that's played every single UFC game or MMA game on the planet, going all the way back to PS2.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Wow.
UFC Sudden Strikes and shit like that, and Sudden Impacts, which I think I own still. This is by and far the best MMA game to date. I think it's also probably the easiest one for newcomers to adapt to. And that's based off two things. One, the ground game's been reworked so that it's a little bit easier to understand and you have a little HUD thing that helps you out. I like that very much. The thing that impressed me most, finally, they put in a training mode that actually is fucking dope. Like, instead of just running through, like, okay, we're going to teach you the ground games. You do this to do this, you do this to do this, and you go through 10 different steps, and it's like, hey, now you know the ground game.
Right.
Instead, what they do is you go into training and you want to learn to grapple, let's say. So you'll be on the ground with another dude, and it turns off strikes, the ability to get up, and the ability to try and submit people. So all you're doing is literally transitioning and defending transitions. And I just sat there for 10 to 15 minutes until I just figured out the mechanics by sitting there and doing it. You know, it's all you need to do to really wrap your head around how to play it. And then you'll go into the submission thing, and it'll tell you how to do it. And then it's just, okay, go ahead, roll around with this guy and try and tap him out and try to defend his submissions. And then same thing with the takedown and takedown defense. You'll just be in a ring with a guy who keeps trying to take you down, and you keep trying to defend it. No points, no health goes down, no stamina, nothing like that, right? So it just totally gets you prepared to play the game. I think that is awesome because the biggest gripe for a lot of people in the old UFC games was barrier to entry was so fucking intense. Like,
Sure.
you had to really practice and learn those systems, and they were kind of complex and convoluted and hard to master.
Right. I can't believe it's taken them that long to figure out that sort of training style.
Yeah.
Like in a game like that, or like in Fight Night or something like that, that would just be like perfect. Like
Well, that's the thing, though. This is the second game that EA's done.
Right.
THQ owned it
Right,
before.
right.
And they did a decent job, but they tried so many different things with it. This is actually the third MMA game that EA's done, second UFC game.
Right. They had EA's
Yeah.
MMA or something.
But yeah, but they're the masters. They're the ones that I wanted to have the franchise
Sure.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I heard THQ was getting that UFC license, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
They've only been fucking up the WWE games forever, right? Let's give it to them. Oh, great. They made some entertaining UFC games, and it's hard for me to differentiate whether they were actually good or whether I just have a huge bias because I love the sport so
Right.
much.
right.
Right?
From what I've seen you play, I mean, it looks like a shit ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not a UFC guy. I don't watch UFC very much at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it looks great. From like I haven't played any MMA games, but I did play a lot of Fight Night. I played like round 2, 3, and champion. in your opinion, how would they compare, like the control scheme wise? Like how, because I found that like Fight Night and Champion, it definitely like you had to learn how to do it, and you had to get kind of the feeling for the controls, and it took you a while to get around that learning curve before you kind of got how to throw
Totally.
the right punches.
I remember having a hard time with the first Fight Night for a little while, trying to figure it out. But I played every single Fight Night fucking extensively. So I'm a big fight fan. I love boxing as well. So picking up on that was pretty awesome. I think my problem with the Fight Night series is when you take it online, nobody was using the fight stick. Everybody was using the face buttons, so they would just sit there and spam X and O and throw really unrealistic, really fast punches that were just like, and then you're out cold, right? That to me was not very fun.
No.
That problem doesn't exist in this UFC game.
Right.
Because of the stamina thing. Like, if you throw a bunch of punches really, really fast, your stamina's going to drain, and you're gonna
get knocked out.
Yeah, your punches will slow down. You'll be dumb, and you'll be more susceptible to a knockout. That being said, if you're against somebody who's good, they'll block every one of those punches and then hit you low and then high, and you'll go fucking down.
Yeah.
Right.
Or take you to the ground after you expend all your energy, and then you can't defend transitions until you regain your stamina, right?
Right.
And you'll get pummeled.
Right.
So there's definitely a repercussion to actually going in there and spamming.
Right.
Right.
Whereas Fight Night, it was really, really hard to stop.
So would you say it's easier than the Fight Night games to get into if it's like your first game to get into for MMA?
As far as stand-up, sure. Not the ground
Not
game.
because
there is no ground game in
ground
boxing,
game,
right? It's just the punching.
Yeah.
So, no, I would say. Because
You'd say
as
it's
a
harder.
whole,
It's
I'd
still
say it's
more of a
harder
curve.
because it's not just striking, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you go in there and you just, all you want to do is strike, you're going to get really, really frustrated the first time you get fucking put on your back and somebody is just wailing on you, or you're just in a transition battle, right?
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people griping, like, when you get two people that don't really know what they're doing on the ground, all they're doing is transition. Right? But what you want to do is, every time I take somebody to the ground or they take me to the ground, before trying to advance my position, because I know they're going to fucking try to do that immediately, I'll block it. I will defend their transition, and then that allows me to make my transition that much faster.
Right.
It's like it's in the gameplay mechanics, right? Like, their energy will get sapped from trying to do the transition.
Right.
Mine will stay the same because I've defended it correctly. And then I can transition faster, so when I get into the top. So there is, like, definitely knowing the sport a bit helps you a little bit, because it's built into the game design, obviously, right?
So knowing how to control the flow of an MMA fight is certainly more important, I guess.
I think so. I think it helps a little bit. Like, there's been plenty of times where I'm down on the cards, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's a really even thing, and there's 10 seconds left, so I'll take them down just to get those points.
Yep.
I wouldn't know that if I didn't watch MMA. Right? Yeah. And then if it goes to the judges, it might sway one way or the other.
Right.
That's the other aspect of it, though. You've watched me go to decisions multiple times, and when they're very, very close fights, and maybe even I won slightly, like round 1 I'll win, round 2 he'll win, and then round 3 in the fight statistics, the only difference is like one significant strike, and maybe I got that significant strike in the round.
Yeah.
The judges would still give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. It's kind of almost a little random. I don't know how the algorithm works there.
But it's always unanimous, which is what I don't get.
That is weird, though.
Yeah.
It is.
Like in Fight Night, it was, I remember the
Split
judges.
decisions.
It was usually split decisions.
There might be split decisions as well, but I don't know. It depends, because I don't know what else they take into account. Because in actual MMA, judges score you points for controlling the center of the octagon, being more aggressive, pushing the pace more, stuff like that. So I don't know if they take that into account as well.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah, it's certainly not in the stats if they do.
Yeah, exactly. It's not in the fight statistics, but that doesn't mean that's all they're basing the
exactly.
rounds off. So that's part of the unpredictable nature of MMA. I like that. Don't leave it to the judges.
No. Yeah, no, almost every time you leave it to the judges, they fuck you.
Well, they in that one evening, yes.
Yeah,
but I've won quite a few decisions. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And they've been close. Yeah. And fights can finish quick still, too. Like that one reviewer on IGN, he's like, you can't Ronda Rousey isn't able to just walk in there, throw somebody to the ground, and armbar him in 4 seconds. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can.
Yeah, definitely.
You fucking can. If somebody doesn't know how to defend on the ground, sure.
Yep.
Right.
I'll take them down and tap them out in a heartbeat.
Sure.
But, yeah. I don't know. I'm enjoying the living shit out of it. Graphically, it's one of the prettiest sports games I've ever seen. Like, you see muscles flexing and ligaments and the way the hair bounces and the reactive system to just, like, the punch hits them and there's no, like, animation transition. They just go fucking down.
Yeah, it's intense. It's
pretty crazy.
It does get a little wonky sometimes, but that's from people trying to spam usually.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
They'll throw punches faster than A, the game can handle, and B, any human being could actually throw. Right? Like way faster than any human being could fucking throw. And so sometimes animations can get wonky. Sometimes when a kick hits another kick, legs get all locked up weird. It's rare, but it does happen, right? So
I mean, the physics in it are so good.
So cool. Like,
I think that sometimes
I couldn't tell you how many times somebody that, like, they'll start spamming high kicks, and I'll see they're not spamming it, but that's like all they're throwing, going straight for the head.
Yeah.
And then I'll walk in and I'll be like, "Okay, I know when he's gonna." I timed it. I have it timed. I'm like, "Okay, he's pressing it like every 2 seconds or whatever." And then I'll go in and I'll kick him in the leg as soon as his front leg comes off the ground, and he'll just whoop right onto the ground. He goes down, and it looks so fucking impressive when that happens.
It's a crazy looking game.
Even like the wrinkles on the bottom of their feet.
Yeah, everything.
It's insane. Holy crap, man! That
very,
game,
very, very pretty game.
Good. Yeah, it's good looking. Sweat looks crazy. The blood droplets like on the mat. And like when you see that stuff in slow mo. Yeah. Holy cow! It's so cool.
Yeah, and I think that it offers a lot for people that aren't as serious into the online as I am. Like, I want to go to the top. I just do.
Right.
But for people that are just looking to play single player and couch co-op, it's got all the features you would actually want as well. Like, there's a knockout mode, which is I've been looking at. It sounds super cool for parties and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Everybody has a 5-point health system. If you get touched 5 times, you get knocked the fuck out.
Oh, really?
That's just how it works. It's a different health bar. You have 5 segments.
Oh.
And you have to defend and try to. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots at that point. There's no ground game, no takedowns or anything like that.
That's cool.
And it can end with some of the most impressive knockouts you can see in the fucking game, right? Because you hit them with that spinning kick.
Yeah, and it just takes.
Ba-boom! They just go and I think on the last point, like then people's stats are increased because it doesn't matter, right? How hard you punch at that point, because you just get hit 5 times, right? So I'm pretty sure they have upped everybody's power punches and kicks and shit like that, because the knockouts just happen so fast and hardcore in that mode that is so cool, man. People's heads just get taken the fuck off. Oh, it's a completely arcadey experience, and fights last like 10 seconds or 15 seconds.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But it's great for controller passing at a party, right? Like, that's just so much fun.
That is super cool. Yeah. And that other thing that I thought was freaking amazing that I'd never seen in a game before was when it was getting you to make bets on real UFC fights that were coming up. That was super cool.
Did I tell you about that, Danny?
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about that.
Yeah, there's like, you go into this thing and it says like, oh, upcoming live event in 7 days or whatever, and I clicked on it, and it was the Frank Mir versus Mark Hunt event that just happened, and you get to go through all the fights on the main card and pick who you think's gonna win, what round they're gonna win, and how they're gonna win. And based off, and then you do that for every fight on the main card, and based off of that, you get points towards your ultimate fight team or whatever the hell it is, where you get, it's the whole trading card,
the ultimate team thing,
the ultimate team, except in this you don't get players, you get moves and different fucking dumb shit. I don't mess with that mode. It's never my thing. Seems like a hook for microtransactions to me, but it's pretty neat. Like, even if I don't use those points, I get to make those bets and then watch the fights live or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I got that guy. Did I get it? Cool. And it's just a neat way to promote the events as well.
Yeah, I really liked that they kind of like tied in the real events.
And then on top of that, if you play a fight, you can click, all right, play now. Like, I voted Mark Hunt would win in the second round by TKO. And then I hit play now, and then I tried to recreate that exact thing. I tried to win, or I did. I beat Frank Mir in the second round with a TKO, so it gave me extra points for that. Super cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I really enjoy that. And I mean, I haven't seen that card game thing at all, really. I kind of see it on the loading screens every now and then, but it seems super interesting. I mean, I like it. Might be better in like hockey or basketball or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I would spend real money on it myself, but I could certainly see how people would get into it.
Apparently, you don't have to.
No, you don't.
Like
have
it says, it and while most of these, pretty much all these microtransaction games, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Have to, right?
Yeah.
But apparently in this UFC one, you really don't have to. Like,
That's
you can earn it all fairly easy just
Right.
by playing the game.
And through those live events, I guess as well.
Sure.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm certainly liking it. It seems like a really fun game.
Yeah, we'll get you on it later.
Yeah, I've been
not?
thinking about trying it every now and then, but I feel like I'm gonna have to put a bunch of time into training before I actually
The own what? Sorry.
Yeah, you don't even have to play online. You can just make a career if you want or whatever.
True. Yeah.
What was that, Danny?
I was just gonna say the only thing that kind of I resent about these games, these UFC games, is that EA has kind of put their Fight Night guys completely into this now, and they've basically said we're not going to get another Fight Night anytime soon, which kind of annoys me a
But
little bit.
I think there's a big reason for that, man. Like it's not just the game; it's boxing
Boxing in
itself.
general, yeah.
Sure, I get that.
It's not doesn't
Boxing
have the
is
same
not
crowd.
got the draw that UFC has.
Yeah, I see
and
that.
hasn't for a while.
But still, I'm just talking about myself. Like I would rather play a new Fight
yeah,
Night.
totally. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but I get it.
I'm fucking disappointed at that as well, man. I love those Fight Night games and I love boxing.
Yeah, we had
but
some
I
good
think
fights.
boxing needs to step its game up, you know.
Mm.
I know why. If you really want to get into that, like boxing has like 5 different companies and promoters that put on their own events, whereas UFC is one conglomerate.
Right.
Right.
I think that divides a lot of shit as well. And then you have weird, because the UFC can make their fights, right?
Yeah.
And the boxing just can't do that right now. It took them 6 fucking years to get the 2 best guys to fight each other.
Right.
Whereas the UFC, that happens every other month.
Right.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I think that like even to get that fucking fight, that boxing match, it was probably like twice as much to get it on pay-per-view than a UFC pay-per-view. Don't you think? I think that would be more expensive boxing. No.
No. The pay-per-views, like for us to rent?
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much the same price.
Same price.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's gonna pay over $60 to see a fucking event.
Right.
That's crazy. But it all comes down to like the UFCs don't the fighters in the UFC don't have a say over how much they're gonna get paid because it's one conglomerate.
Right.
Whereas in boxing they have
They have
Golden
agents.
Boy will offer
Yeah.
you this to fight, whereas the Don King whatever over there will offer you this.
Right.
Yeah.
Which one you gonna go with? And then you have all that bullshit. Fucking people yelling at each other. Floyd Mayweather, I want this much money, and Manny Pacquiao's like, I'll do it for this, and he's like, no, I won't do it for that, and it creates bullshit, right?
Interesting.
Sure.
But at the same time, that's why I'm sure a lot of UFC fighters are getting kind of fucked over with
Yeah,
how
not
much
getting
they're
as much money as they could be.
boxers will be making way more money.
Way
than they
more,
will.
yeah.
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 Because of the individual companies that put it on. It's not a monopoly
Right.
like UFC has.
Yeah.
That being said, buy the fucking game. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Try it
really enjoy it. I don't really have too much else to say other than see you online, motherfuckers. Add me up, _dude250. I'll put you through a training camp. You can be one of my towel boys. Wipe the sweat off my balls if you're lucky.
You don't want to take my job. That's my job, motherfuckers.
He gets the left one. You might have the right one night if you lucky.
I'll fucking kill you.
You might. Yeah, it's my Mickey, ladies and gentlemen. You're a bum, Rock.
Chase them chickens, Rock.
That's right. Yeah, maybe when there's a price cut, Danny Boy will get it, I'm guessing, but
Maybe.
I don't know. You might enjoy it just as much as those Fight Night games.
Maybe.
You never know.
It seems like it would feel a lot like Fight Night.
It does.
Obviously, the
It
ground
does.
game doesn't, but yeah, the stand-up seems like it feels very Fight Nighty.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like all the other online games. Most people just want to stand up anyway, so
Yeah.
most of my fights end up just standing. Unless I feel like taking them down, and I do that.
Fair enough.
That was, oh man, The UFC games back in like the THQ ones were so much fun because the ground games were so much more complex that nobody got it except for me, it seemed like. So I would just go in there and literally destroy people, take them down immediately, and boop, they're dead. Tap them out.
Right.
They'd just be spamming buttons like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Meanwhile, there's this asshole who had 6 months off of work.
Yeah.
Play every fucking day, all day.
Fucking getting them in a Kimura or something.
Oh, exactly, man. Pulling out just crazy shit. It was great. Damn straight.
Cool, man.
Anyway, yeah. That's a buy for me. If I had to give a score on it, I'd say buy it. That's the only score I'm giving you. Fuck
I would
off.
say the same. You don't want to rent that one. I think if you want it, I think you're gonna like it, and I think you would want to put a lot of time into it.
That's right. If you enjoyed this topic, make sure you hit that like button at the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see our beautiful faces and booty holes every week, multiple times. And we do Let's Plays as well, so make sure you check those out. Peruse the channel and all its offerings. Check us out on Twitter at DUDEPOOL Gaming. Don't forget to check out Facebook at facebook.com/DUDEPOOL Gaming. Official DUDEPOOL Gaming.
There you go.
That's the one. And if you have any topic suggestions, feel free to drop us a line on any of those mediums, and we'll catch you next time, motherfuckers.
See you guys.
See you guys.